What is happening, all you sexy YouTube warriors out there? Range A Bro back at it again, and today I have a very special video for you guys. We're going to be talking about the HK MR762, the 417, the G28, whatever you want to call it. Let's get into it. Alright guys, thank you so much for stopping by the channel again. I've had this rifle now for probably about 6 months, so I don't want to call this a long-term review, but I've definitely had some more time on the gun, done some more modifications to the gun, and I've kind of gotten it to a place where I really feel like I know it pretty well and I could run it pretty well, whether it be in a course or whether it be just in the flat range and just the drills I set up for myself. There's a few new items on the rifle itself. Before we talk about that, I want to talk about the main goal of this video is going to be, I haven't seen a video that actually has shown with conclusive evidence that the HK MR762 can reach out to 1,000 yards. So according to this task and purpose article, the SDMR, the Squad Designated Marksman's Rifle, is designed to fill the 300 to 600 meter capability gap between the standard issue rifle and the sniper rifle. So this is kind of the DMR, literally the DMR that the Army selected to kind of fill that gap for that 300, 600 yard engagements. Now, this thing can absolutely clap steel from 300, 600 yards all freaking day. However, what I haven't seen it do is go past that range and go out to 1,000 yards. I know a guy did a video a while back, I forget his name or what his channel is, but before I bought this gun, I wanted to see somebody shoot at 1,000 yards. And in his video, he claimed he did it, but the video wasn't recording or the drone died, something of that sort. So I'm gonna redo that test and kind of prove to everybody that this thing can shoot 1,000 yards. Now I have done it, so spoiler alert, I've done it already. However, this time I'm gonna go back out there with the drone and get some footage of it and hopefully some POV footage as well with the new QVO tactical COD mount here. So it's actually gonna be able to allow me to use my iPhone and film first person through my EOTech, which I'm getting ahead of myself here. I got a new scope on here, and actually show you guys what I'm seeing when I'm hitting that 1,000 yard target. But we'll actually have a drone all the way out there at the target as well to confirm those hits, because it is a little difficult even with a spotting scope. At 1,000 yards, a 308 is losing a significant amount of its energy. So range that we go to, shout out to RPR range, one of the best here in Central Texas. They do not have flashing light indicators on their targets. One of the main and little complaints I have about RPR, besides the distance and the drive it takes to get out there. With that being said, I'm gonna do a little POV footage through the scope itself, as well as having the drone out there. But we're gonna confirm for you that this thing can reach to 1,000 yards. Now, as far as the performance of the rifle, it's performed flawlessly. I had one failure to feed, and all of my rounds I put through it were probably on about 600 rounds with this rifle as it sits today. None of them suppressed, because one of the major complaints about this rifle is you can't get the muzzle device off. HK has said that if you ship it to them, they'll pay return shipping and they'll take it off for you so you don't damage your rifle. But with all that being said, let's go blast end to ass end and talk about what I've upgraded and what I've changed in this rifle since the last video. All right, so starting up front, we have the stock barrel and flash hider from HK. As I just mentioned, it's very hard to get off. I do have a Magpul bipod. This is M-Lock bipod attached directly to the Geisley rail here. This is that Geisley 417 rail. I love this rail aesthetically, everything about it. I just really love this rail. I have the MBus Pro offset iron sights on here, one in the front and one in the rear as well. And then over here on the side, I have my Surefire MD640 dual fuel on a kinetic development group, one of these quick detach M-Lock, I forget what they're called, these rail sections. They're pretty badass. I actually really enjoy these, especially for the flashlights, because it's not a big load-bearing area. It's pretty much just needs to hold the flashlight on there and hold it tight enough that I can push the tail cap. It's not moving around. They're pretty damn solid, but again, kinetic development group makes it really easy because you can just quickly and easily push these two pins. It comes out, and then snapping it back into place is exact same deal, and then you can bend it however you want. So that's pretty cool. I love that, because now I can move that flashlight around from gun to gun, because those lights are very expensive, as you guys all know. Moving back from there, we have some rail scales on here. I believe these are, you guys ask me all the time, I never remember. I believe these are the 3-slot. These are just their high temperature polymer, the cheap ones. I'm not that rich to have G10 scales on my MR762. This gun cost me enough. So, and then up top I have a Daniel Defense little Picatinny rail cover, and then some BCM rail covers in between. Just enough of a grip. Down here I have a little bit of just a little pick section from Magpul, as well as a Troy vertical grip. I just love these vertical grips, and they have storage in the bottom as well. They come with a longer section, so you could extend it, but I like the little shorty nubby guy right there. Moving back from there, we have a Badger, a Condition 1 mount. This is their 1.54 mount. Now the reason I went with a 1.54, excuse me, I just did biceps today, and this gun does get pretty heavy after you're holding it for a while. This HK rifle, like all HK short stroke gas piston system rifles, have a step up in the upper receiver. So this is already taller than a traditional receiver. Obviously, compared to the optic, it's not taller, but compared to your cheek weld, it is taller. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're buying mounts for these types of rifles that have that taller upper receiver. That's why I went with a 1.54. Plus, this is more of a DMR roll, so I want to have a really good solid cheek weld, not a chin weld. This is not a high-speed gun. The way I have it set up is more for that DMR, you know, SDMR roll. Moving on, I do have my Blue Force Vickers sling on here. It's just the sling I've been using. I actually moved it around from a couple different guns. Love the sling. It works great. One of the biggest downfalls of the HK rifles are their stocks. Some people love them. I don't love them. I hate these little sling loops here. I never use them. I just thread it through the back here. On my other HKs, I cut this off. I will be cutting these off just to get them out of my way because they always hit me in the face when I'm shouldering the rifle. When I'm coming up on target, I get blasted with those. So, but going back from there, what is in the Condition 1 mount is the EOTech 5-25 first focal plane with the Horus Tremor 3 reticle. This was actually given to me by a subscriber to review, and then I fell in love with it and ended up buying it off him. So really good scope. It is super short. Really not a necessary feature to have on an AR-10 platform because we do have so much rail space up front. You know, a longer scope would still allow for the ability to mount a night vision device if that's something you wanted to do. But it does look cool. The only downside to it being so short is that it has a little bit of a tight eye box at 25x. But this isn't a review on the EOTech, but I do like it enough to have bought it used, and it's found a permanent home on this rifle here. So besides that, and the rear MBus Pro offset, which we talked about already, this is a completely stock gun. Stock charging handle, stock selector switch. One thing that is not stock, that is very important to mention, is the grip. I did change out this grip. This is the RAL 8000. I forget what version of HK grip this is, but this is from HK. I bought it from HK Parts, so I paid an arm and a leg for it. As you can imagine, I think it was like 60 bucks for a pistol grip, maybe 65. Besides that, I have a B5 trigger guard here. Just give myself a little bit more room in there. And then I have a Geisley trigger. It just came in a little plastic bag like so. Here's the OEM trigger in here. I just love Geisley triggers, even though they charge you an arm and a leg for their triggers. It's just, I think it's a big contributing factor to how easily I was able to reach out to 1,000 yards. Once I got my dope locked in, the trigger is just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, there's really nothing that fancy about the bipod. It's a $100 bipod, but the trigger does make a huge difference. Besides that, guys, that's pretty much all we have updated on this gun. Now let's go to the range portion. All right, guys, so we're out here at the range today with the MR762. We've got the EOTech 5-25 first focal plane with the Horus Tremor 3 reticle. I'm not going to be dialing anywhere from 200 to 600 yards, which is where we're at today at RPR range. We're not going to be dialing, just going to be using the reticle as it's designed. When we go over to the 1,000-yard range, I probably will dial, just make it a little bit easier to hit that 1,000-yard target with a 308 caliber. But that's enough talking. We've already gone over the rifle. Today we're just going to shoot it, and then I'll give you a POV of me shooting the same exact run. We're going to try to get 2 positive impacts on each target from 200 out to 600, and then when we're done, I'll throw the POV COD mount from QVO Tactical on here, and I'll show you guys what that actually looks like through the scope. Here we go. Let's just start shooting. Starting with 200 yards, going hot. Two impacts there, going to 300 yards, going hot. Hit. Hit. Going to 4. I was a little high that first shot. Hit. Okay, I wasn't holding for wind. Left side of the target. Hit. Okay. A little bit of a struggle there, but we made it. Was not holding for wind. This canyon is very wind affected, put it that way. All right, going to 5, 3 mil hold here. Off the left edge. Hit, holding left edge, 3 mils. Hit, all right. Going out to 600, 4 mils, holding left edge. Hit, holding about 10 mile an hour wind. I'm gonna hold about 5.5. Hit. All right, a little bit of a struggle reading the wind there, guys, but we made it happen. Now we're gonna hook up the COD mount to this and try to give you a POV footage. Little high, so I'm about 1 mil. This thing is the part that keeps coming loose. Shooting. Go for it. Hit. All right, going out to 4. Hit. Hit. Going to 500. Hit. Same deal, 3 mils, left side of the target. Hit. All right, now we're going to 600. Going for that orange guy right there. We're gonna do 4 mils, holding left side of the target. We're gonna do 4 and that much wind. Hit. Hit. Okay. Got it. All right, guys, so we're out here at the 1,000-yard range at RPR. Once again, big shout out to RPR Ranch. If you guys are out here in Central Texas, come check them out. Here we are at 1,000 yards. We have the drone out today. Big shout out to my cameraman, Levi. We're going to be flying the drone out because it is a little bit hard to confirm impacts at these ranges. So I think we have a target at 730 yards and a target at 1,000 yards. And then once I get a couple confirmed hits at 730 and a couple at 1,000, I'm going to take the phone mount that you see right here from QVO Tactical, the COD mount, and I'm going to see if I can give you a POV shot of what it looks like to hit 1,000 yards with a 308. Remember, guys, it's only a 16-inch barrel, so it's already done it, but I'm gonna see if I can redo it today and show you guys it being done in real time, because I know you guys want proof. The internet always wants proof, so hopefully I can show you with the drone and on that main camera, but as well through the scope after we get these shots done. I do have 2 more 20-round mags, so if I can't do it in 40 rounds, then I'm trash anyways, and I don't deserve shit. So let's go ahead and start shooting. So we dialed 6.8 mils. Now we're just gonna have to worry about the wind hold. We'll have the drone out there to kind of help us with that. So
imagine.
No flinch. You see that?
Yeah, that was pretty funny though.
It's good.
Miss.
Okay. I'll hold a little further to the left.
Hit.
Hit.
That was awesome.
One more time.
Miss.
That was just off the right edge.
Hit.
Hit right edge. Okay.
That is incredible.
Let's go to 1,000.
Hit.
Hit.
Yep. Hit. Miss. Hit. That was a hit, but I can't see where you hit it on. Miss.
All right, we got what, 2 hits out there?
Yeah. You want to hear something hilarious?
What's up?
I wasn't recording for those first 2 hits. I just got that last hit though.
All right, but you guys saw it. You guys heard the hit, but okay, let's try it again. 1 round left. I guess I don't have 1 more round.
Hit. Almost
yeah.
dead center, slightly to the right. Hit.
Holding 3 mils. Wind.
Hit.
Fuck yeah,
Left
baby.
side of the target, couldn't see where.
Left side?
It was the left side of the target, I just couldn't tell where.
Hit.
That was the right side of the target.
I saw that one.
Yep, that was the right side of the target.
Done. You saw it here first, folks. MR762 with the EOTech 5-25, first focal plane. We got the drone confirmation. We got fucking 3 cameras recording here, so no one could fake this shit. That's real, verified. First shot. Let's go. All right, guys, so we are back here in the studio to discuss the long-range portion and wrap this video up. Before we do, I want to just mention we had 2 malfunctions at the range this range trip while putting around 100 rounds of the Sierra Gold Medal Match King through the MR762. We had 2 failures to not lock back on the last round, so I didn't mark the magazines like I should have. However, I think it is important to mention to you guys, this is a very expensive gun, so that did happen at the range. I still love it. I'm not sure why it was doing that. The gun is pretty clean. However, I just want to mention that before we start talking about its long-range performance. All right, guys, so as far as the long-range performance, this guy performed really well. I would say far beyond what I expected a 16-inch 308 barrel to do, being that we had 7 out of 20 hits at 1,000 yards. Again, using me as the shooter, a regular bipod, a sandbag, and a couple of those hits, multiple of those hits, was actually looking through my iPhone to do it. So out of those misses, we did have an issue with my dope calculator. Strelick was telling me that I needed to dial 13.5 mils when I really needed just 13 mils. So there was a little mix up there. And the first 3 rounds I shot were very high, or about 2 feet high at that distance. So if you remove those shots from the equation, it's actually closer to like 18 or 17 rounds, and hitting 7 out of 17. Again, not ideal, but it can do it. It's definitely possible. It's a very windy range we go to at RPR here in Texas. The wind plays a huge factor out there. I mean, you guys can see in the video how much wind I was actually holding. And again, a 308 is not really designed, in my opinion, or optimized rather, to go past that 800 yard mark. At 730 yards, I would have much more confidence, let's put it that way, in this capability of this rifle. I would say confidently, the way this thing is set up, I would trust my life to this gun from 0 to 800 yards all day long. After that, it's a little iffy for me. That 730 yard target was absolutely pretty darn easy to hit once I got this thing and figured out the wind hold for that target. And those 730 yard targets were pretty small, about the size of a human head, I'd say, probably about 6 inches to 8 inches across. So a headshot at 730 yards after 1 or 2 misses is pretty darn accurate, and definitely combat effective accuracy for me. So the Army is saying that this gun is to bridge the gap between 300 and 600 meters. I would say that's 100% accurate, and I think it could go even a little bit further than that, out to 700 to 800 yards. Now at the 1,000 yard portion, again, so the first 2 hits, Levi forgot to hit the record button on the drone, so you had to take our word for it, but we did it multiple times afterwards with the drone footage as well as with the POV footage from the COD mount. So hopefully you guys believe that it was actually done, because it was done. Yeah, I gotta say, I am impressed with this barrel. Again, with a better shooter, with a less windy day, with other factors being what other factors always are, we may have had more or less hits. Now that I've done it more than once, twice now, I think that if I went back out there again, that ratio of hits to misses would just climb and climb, especially if we had a good spotter and a good spotting scope. The trouble is with the drone, he's not filming the drone from straight on, so he's filming from an angle just in case the bullet does something weird. I don't want to hit his $3,000 drone. So at an angle, it's very hard to tell where the misses are at. So with a good spotter and with different conditions, I think that you can really get those hits much closer to the 3/4 hit to miss ratio. So like shooting 10 rounds and hitting 8 or 7 out of those 10, I think is a very realistic thing that this 308 can do, especially with a higher end optic like the 5-25. Most of the time I was shooting at about 20 to 22x, so not even using the whole top range of that. But that's gonna wrap up the video for today, guys. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have a HK MR762 like I do, just know that you have one of the best DMRs on the market today. Yes, it's a heavy boy, and all around, I couldn't recommend this gun enough. If it is in your price range, it is one of the best. And after hitting 1,000 yards with it, I have even more of a love for it, because long range shooting is one of my passions. Let me know down in the comments below what the furthest you ever shot was, what rifle you used to get there, and what caliber it was. If you guys like this kind of content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We do this kind of stuff all the time. We're gonna be doing more and more long range content, as well as more night vision content and things like that. So thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. Until next time, stay safe, stay dangerous. Range Day Bro, out.